Welcome to the final round of the 2022 Canadian Geographic Challenge National Final. My name is David McGuffin. I'm a fellow of the Royal Canadian Geographical Society, a contributing editor at Canadian Geographic magazine, and host of Canadian Geographic's Explore podcast. And today, I have the pleasure of also being your host for the Challenge National Final. I'd like to begin this competition by acknowledging that the land on which we are hosting this competition is the unceded territory of the Algonquin peoples, who have been the guardians of and in relationship with these lands for thousands of years. I would also like to recognize that the work of the Royal Canadian Geographical Society and Canadian Geographic Education reaches across all the distinct First Nations, Métis homelands, and Inuit Nunangat. And for this, we are very grateful. Thank you to everyone for giving up part of their day to spend with us, celebrating geography, the Canadian Geographic Challenge, and the amazing studious efforts of the young geographers competing today. Although the finalists cannot be here in person, we are so thrilled to have them here virtually in the Alex Trebek Theatre. Alex and the Trebek Foundation are longtime supporters of the RCGS, and their continued support is instrumental in delivering the CanGeo Challenge. The CanGeo Challenge is an annual student geography competition hosted by the Royal Canadian Geographical Society. Today's national final event is a celebration of the very special individuals who ranked among the top geography students in Canada. The challenge, which is now in its 27th year, is the Society's longest-running education program. Every year, students from across the nation compete at the classroom, school, provincial, territorial, and finally, the national level to earn a spot in the top 5 for the final round. Although it's been a difficult time for everyone with what's been happening in the world these days, our young geographers have gone above and beyond this year and truly demonstrated their love and commitment to geography and our planet. I'd like to applaud the hard work and efforts of all the students who have participated in the challenge, no matter where you are now, because without you, we wouldn't be here today. We are especially proud of the dedication that our 20 national finalists have shown in preparing for and tackling the tests we put before them this year. The challenge is a cornerstone of Canadian geographic education. Not only does it teach students about geography and Canada, it also inspires a passion for learning and encourages a love for exploration, both close to home and further afield. The challenge brings classrooms and schools together and connects like-minded people right across the country. Now let's meet our top 5 national finalists of the Canadian Geographic Challenge. I'm going to introduce them one by one, in no particular order, and I'll ask each competitor a question so we can learn a little more about them. Let's welcome our very first competitor, Swapnil Kabir, who is in grade 8 at Gordon A. Brown Middle School in Scarborough, Ontario. Welcome, Swapnil. Congratulations on making it to the national final. Can you share with us why geography is important to you?
Geography is important to me because it allows me to pay close attention to my own home as well as to other places in the world and to see them in new ways that I wouldn't have seen them in otherwise. I can get a context into their past and their present, and I have a better understanding of what lies ahead.
Thank you so much, Swapnil. Next, we have Angad Katra, who attends grade 10 at University of Toronto Schools in Ontario, but is himself from Calgary, Alberta. Welcome to the national final, Angad. Our question for you is, how do you feel geography impacts your day-to-day life?
I think geography impacts many things about what we do in our everyday lives. I'd say one thing that has greatly impacted me in terms of being in Alberta for multiple years in relation to geography is the unique weather that Calgary has, simply because of its geographic location, situated directly between mountains and prairie, in addition to having multiple forests and wetlands throughout the city. And I think that has really contributed to its unique environment, in addition to a lot of the weather that we experience, like Chinooks, for example. So I think that just looking at that has really impacted my life in terms of how I've lived there for multiple years. And I think also when I came to Toronto, it was also very interesting to see how the geography in Toronto differed to the geography I'd experienced back in Calgary, and how that was impacting my everyday life in terms of what I was able to do and when I was able to do it and how I was able to do it.
Thanks, Angad. Congratulations for making it to the finals. Now, let's welcome Jude Cordice, who is in grade 8 at Brant Christian School. He's from Okotoks, Alberta. Congratulations on becoming one of our top 5. As a national finalist for the CanGeo Challenge, geography is obviously a subject that you really know well. What's your favorite topic to learn about connected to geography, and why is that?
Yeah, probably my favorite part of geography is the political aspect. I love learning about like other countries' governments, laws, and economies, as well as other things like their traditions in their culture and their like cuisines and stuff.
Thank you, Jude. Our next competitor is Nishan Gill, who is in grade 8 at Ottawa Carleton Virtual Secondary School here in Ontario. Welcome to the national final, Nishan. It's been a long road for all our competitors to get here to the national final, but you've persevered and impressed us with your drive to succeed. Tell us, Nishan, why is geography important to you?
Geography is important to me because our world's ever evolving. So our world's never going to be the same as it was 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago. So I love learning about how new valleys are going to form from rivers, how glaciers are going to form new land masses, and how new mountains are going to rise from the ground. And so that ever evolving aspect of geography means there's always something new to learn, and that always interests me.
Thanks, Nishan. And last but not least, we have Julian Ball from Cambridge, Ontario. He is in grade 10 at Healfield Strathallan College in Hamilton. Congratulations on making it to the national final, Julian. No doubt you've been studying hard both at school and for this competition. Beyond the classroom, how would you say geography affects your everyday life?
I think it's a great question. You know, many activities in daily life are impacted by geography. I would say out of all the things that like students our age learn about, it might be the most applicable to daily life because no matter what you're doing, whether it be as simple as knowing where you live or knowing where your school is or where your parents go to work, for example, everything is linked to geography. So even, you know, the students in your class, you can link that to demographics and how your class is composed of what languages people speak, for example, where their ancestors are from, and their culture. And I think the diverse cultures that make up Canada really make our country the great place it is. So I think everything really is linked to geography in some context.
Thank you, Julian. And thanks to all of you for sharing a bit about yourselves and for all the hard work you've put in this year to make it to the national final. Now, before we get the competition underway, I'm going to explain how the event is going to run. Finalists, there are 5 rounds, 3 video questions and 2 Dutch auction questions in the national final today. Each round will have a different theme and will have approximately 8 to 10 questions. I will read a question and each of you will provide your answer online and hit submit. You will be given 20 seconds to answer each question, which will be tracked by our official timer. When the time is up, you will hear this. You will not lose points for wrong answers. If you do not submit your answer before the 20 seconds are up, you will not be marked on that question. All questions are worth 1 point, with the exception of the Dutch auction questions, which I'll explain later in the competition. We have official scorekeepers behind the scenes working with our judges, and I will let you know your scores at the end of each round. During the course of the competition, you are each allowed 2 opportunities to ask for a question to be repeated. The official scorekeepers will keep track of this. You may not ask for a repeat of the video questions. Once an answer has been revealed, if you would like to challenge the answer, you may do so by raising your hand before the next question is read. The judge will review your answer and determine whether it is acceptable or not. Throughout the competition, spelling does not count, just so long as the judges are able to determine what your answer is. If you feel the judges have marked your answer incorrectly, you are allowed to challenge them up to 2 times during the course of the competition. Judges' decisions are final. Finalists, please keep your microphones on mute during each round. If you need to communicate something, raise your hand and wait to be called on before unmuting. After all 5 rounds are complete, if there is a tie for first, second, or third place, we'll move to a sudden win tiebreaker round. If this is the case, I will give you further instructions at that point. Now, unless there's any questions from the competitors, let's begin. We're going to start off the competition today with a round focused on current events. From climate change and natural disasters to major political events and scientific advancements, the world is a complicated and interconnected place. This round will test your knowledge of present-day issues and understanding of global events. Let's see if you've been paying attention to the world news by looking back at important stories from 2021. There are 10 questions in this round, each worth 1 point. Is everyone ready? Let's get our first round underway. Here's your first question. On December 25th, 2021, NASA, the European Space Agency, the Canadian Space Agency, and the Space Telescope Science Institute launched the successor to the Hubble Space Telescope. What is the name of the new telescope? And the correct answer is the James Webb Telescope. On to our next question. In May 2021, the unmarked graves of 215 Indigenous children were discovered on the grounds of a former residential school. This has led to efforts right across Canada using ground-penetrating radar to search similar sites. Near which community was the initial discovery made? And the correct answer is Kamloops, which is in British Columbia. Question number 3. The world has seen many challenges arising over the course of the COVID-19 pandemic. Which country first detected the highly infectious Omicron variant? And the correct answer is South Africa. Our next question is, a major earthquake struck Haiti in August of 2021, killing more than 2,000 people. What was the magnitude of that earthquake? And the answer is 7.2. Question number 5. A heat dome over much of Western Canada caused major wildfires and heat waves in 2021, the severity of which is due in part to the effects of climate change. Which British Columbia village reached an all-time Canadian record high of 49.6 degrees Celsius and had to be evacuated due to wildfires? And the answer is Lytton. Next question. Which country recently became the first in the whole world to accept Bitcoin as an official currency? And the answer is El Salvador. On to question 7. The Russian invasion of Ukraine started back in 2014, with fighting taking place in the Donetsk and Luhansk oblasts. In 2021, the Russian military amassed along the border of this region of Ukraine in preparation for open war. What is this region called? The correct answer is Donbass. Next question. Which Southeast Asian country experienced a military coup in 2021, overturning a newly elected parliament and resulting in armed conflict? And the answer is Myanmar. Question 9. The World Expo is a type of international fair exhibition supervised by the Paris-based Bureau International des Expositions. World Expos have different themes and can last up to 6 months. The latest expo, called Connecting Minds, Creating the Future, was hosted by which city? And the correct answer is Dubai. And now, the final question for this round. Although COVID-19 has dominated the news for the past few years, there have been other significant events in the field of medicine. For which infectious disease did the World Health Organization endorse the first vaccine in October 2021? And the answer is malaria. And that concludes our first round. Great job, everyone. Judges, could we please have an update on our finalist scores so far? Well done, everyone. Now, let's hit into our second round, which is all about endangered and at-risk species. The survival of many species around the globe is threatened by a changing climate, habitat loss, and pollution. Today, thousands of plant and animal species are at risk of extinction. This round will feature 9 questions and our first video question. Each question is worth 1 point. Is everyone ready? Let's begin. Question 1. This species, found in Asia, has recently been downgraded from endangered to vulnerable after decades of conservation efforts globally. What is the full name of this species? The answer is the giant panda. Next question. The savanna sparrow is the only sparrow species classified under special concern in Canada. It's commonly found along the eastern coast of North America and breeds mainly on an isolated Nova Scotian island, which is often referred to as the graveyard of the Atlantic. What is the name of this island? And the answer is Sable Island. Moving on to question number 3. This species of cetacean is considered the world's rarest marine mammal and is classified as critically endangered. There are approximately 10 individuals of this species left on the planet, and they live within Mexico's Gulf of California. What is the name of this marine species? And the answer is vaquita. Question number 4. Javan rhinos are the most endangered of the 5 species of rhinos. There are approximately 60 individuals, all of which live in Ujung Kulon National Park. In which Southeast Asian country is this park located? And the answer is Indonesia. Next question. This species of endangered whale lives entirely in Arctic and subarctic waters. It is circumpolar and spends winters around the southern edge of the sea ice. What is the name of this whale? And the answer is the bowhead whale. Moving on now to question 6. This large cat species lives in some of the harshest places on the planet, such as the high mountain regions of Mongolia, Nepal, China, and Kazakhstan. What is the name of this feline which is classified as vulnerable? And the answer is the snow leopard. Question 7. This squirrel-like animal is classified as one of Canada's most endangered mammals and is only found on Vancouver Island. What is the name of this animal? And the answer is the Vancouver Island marmot. Next question. The saola is often called the Asian unicorn because of its unique skull. It is classified as critically endangered and only found in a specific mountain range that stretches along the border of Vietnam and Laos. Which mountain range are they found in? And the answer is the Annamite Mountains. Question 9. The American eel is an endangered migratory fish that lives in both freshwater and seawater. When spawning, it migrates to a specific area of the Atlantic Ocean because of the warm water created there by circulating ocean currents. What is the name of this sea? And the answer is the Sargasso Sea. And now our last question of this round is a video question from the Royal Canadian Geographical Society's Explorer-in-Residence, Jill Heinerth. Let's have a listen.
I'm Jill Heinerth, Explorer-in-Residence. Sometimes the animals that I see beneath the surface in the Ottawa River have an appointment with scientists monitoring this freshwater fish that is the oldest and largest native fish species in the Great Lakes. Known for its size, it can weigh up to an astonishing 180 kilograms and can grow to more than 2 meters in length during a lifetime of up to 100 years. Instead of scales, this fish has a coarse, plated skin. The Great Lakes and Upper St. Lawrence population of this species is listed as endangered. What's the name of this fish? The answer is lake sturgeon, also known as rock sturgeon.
And thank you, Jill. And that concludes our second round of the competition. Let's check to see where we are with the scores. Well done, everyone. Our third round is all about Indigenous languages. The United Nations declared 2022 to 2032 the Decade of Indigenous Languages to draw global attention to the critical situation of many Indigenous languages and as a way to encourage and promote language revitalization efforts. This round looks at Indigenous languages spoken in Canada and around the world. There are 9 questions and 1 video question, each worth 1 point. To start us off, we have a video question from the Honorary President of the Royal Canadian Geographical Society, Perry Bellegarde.
In 2015, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission presented a final report with 94 calls to action. 5 of those calls to action referenced Indigenous language revitalization. Collaborating with Indigenous leaders, Canada has been working to implement those 5 calls to action. In which year did Parliament pass the Indigenous Languages Act? The answer is 2019.
Thank you, Perry. Now, let's dive a little deeper into Indigenous languages with our next question. There are more than 260,000 people who speak an Indigenous language well enough to hold a conversation. This according to Canada's 2016 National Census. How many Indigenous language families are there in Canada? The correct answer is 12. Next question. Ojibwe, Cree, and Mi'kmaq are all part of which Indigenous language family? And the answer is Algonquian. Question 3. Michif, the language of the Métis, is an endangered language in Canada. Although there are several different heritage dialects, Michif mainly originates from a combination of French and which Indigenous language? And the answer is Cree. Moving on to question 4. According to Canada's 2016 census, in which province or territory would you find the largest number of Cree speakers, which is second only to English as the most commonly spoken language at home? And the answer is Saskatchewan. On to our next question. Which province or territory has an Official Languages Act that recognizes 9 Indigenous languages along with English and French as official languages? And the answer is the Northwest Territories. On to question number 6 now. In Canada, the Inuit language family, called Inuktitut, is made up of several dialects that are used in Arctic communities from coast to coast to coast. These can be loosely grouped according to the regions of Inuit Nunangat. In which region of Inuit Nunangat would you most likely find people speaking Inuvialuktun? And the answer is Inuvialuit. Moving on now to question 7. The languages of the Sami, who are indigenous people living in Northern Europe, are endangered. In which country is Sami an official language? And the answer is Norway. The Anangu people mainly speak Pijonjara and Yunkunyara. They lobbied for and won the recognition of their traditional land rights in 1985, successfully re-establishing the original name of a site sacred to their people. What is the proper name of Ayers Rock today? And the answer is Uluru in Australia. Last question for this round. The language of an agricultural Andean society became the main language for the Inca Empire and was used as the lingua franca throughout the Andes when the Spanish arrived. Today, it is the most spoken indigenous language in South America. What is this indigenous language? And the answer is Quechua. And that wraps up our Indigenous languages round. Before we check back in with the judges for our scores, we do have a special type of question called a Dutch auction question. For this question, 4 clues will be read. You have the option of answering after each clue. However, once you've answered, you may not change your response following another clue. If you answer incorrectly, you will not receive any points. If you answer correctly after the first clue, you'll get 4 points. If you answer correctly after the second clue, you'll receive 3 points. If you answer correctly after the third clue, you'll receive 2 points, and after the fourth clue, 1 point. To answer, please type your response and hit submit. The judges will keep track of your points. The answer to the Dutch auction question will be read after the final clue. Okay, here we go. Name this ancient city. For 4 points, your first clue is, this city is said to have been founded by the legendary Phoenician queen Dido around 900 BCE. Although Dido may have been a myth, it's commonly accepted that Phoenicians founded this city, naming it New Town in their language. Now for 3 points. This city-state became the heart of an empire wealthy by trade. It served as a port city, had a large mercantile class, and a very strong navy. Our next clue for 2 points. Romans sacked and destroyed this city during the Punic Wars, but ultimately rebuilt it during the reign of Julius Caesar because of its strategic importance to their empire. And our last clue for 1 point. The UNESCO World Heritage Site encompassing the city's ruins is located in Tunisia. The correct answer is Carthage. Judges, could we please have an update on our finalist scores so far? Well done, everyone. Our 4th round now focuses on colorful places. The world is filled with countless places of extreme natural beauty, and oftentimes the names of places reflect a certain physical formation, a person who discovered it, or a tribute to someone or something. For this round, each question or answer is inspired by a place in the world that is named after a color. Pay close attention. The color may be mentioned in the question and not part of the answer. There are 9 questions in this round, each worth 1 point. Question number 1. This mid-16th century Basque whaling town in southern Labrador is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. What is the name of this colorful town? The answer is Red Bay. Next question. This African archipelago nation is made up of 10 islands and 5 islets and has one of the highest standards of living in West Africa. What is the name of this colorful country? And the name is Cape Verde. Question number 3. Mexico's Copper Canyon was formed by 6 rivers that merge into the Fuerte River. What is the name of the body of water that the Fuerte River drains into? The answer is the Gulf of California. Now on to our next question. Part of the Appalachian Mountains in the eastern United States, this colorful mountain segment extends from Pennsylvania's southwest through to Georgia. What is the name of this mountain range? The answer is the Blue Ridge Mountains. Moving on now to question 5. The Ivory Coast, also known as Côte d'Ivoire, is an African country that has beautiful beaches, lagoons, savannas, and a few remaining old-growth tropical forests. The country is known for being one of the world's largest producers of which commodity? And the answer is cocoa. Next question. Known as Australia's holiday capital, this colorful metropolitan area is world famous for its stunning beaches, surfing opportunities, theme parks, shopping and hiking. What is the name of this city? The answer is Gold Coast. Question number 7. The White Cliffs of Dover in England are world famous and have special historical significance to Britain. In times of war, the cliffs were often the last thing a soldier would see before sailing off to mainland Europe. What specific substance is the geological wonder made out of? And the answer is chalk. Moving on now to question 8. The Red Lagoon is a shallow salt lake in Bolivia. It's sometimes referred to as Nest of the Andes because it shelters tens of thousands of flamingos. The lake is famous for its red color. What is the cause of this red color in the Red Lagoon? And the answer is algae. Final question of this round. The remote Mealy Mountains National Park Reserve spans more than 10,000 square kilometers. The traditional Innu name for the park is Akami-Wapishk, meaning White Mountains, while the Inuit name is Kakawswak, meaning mountain. In which physiographic subregion of the Canadian Shield is this park located in? And the answer is the Laurentian region. That's the end of our Colorful Places round. Now, before we check the scores, I would like to share with you our final video question of the day. This video is from astronaut and RCGS Honorary Vice President, Dr. Roberta Bondar.
Hi, I'm Dr. Roberta Bondar, medical doctor, scientist, professional nature photographer, writer, and the first female Canadian astronaut. Here is my question. North America's tallest bird is an endangered species whose breeding grounds are found in the wetlands of Wood Buffalo National Park. Although this species was once on the brink of extinction, its population is recovering thanks to international conservation efforts. What is the name of this migratory bird species? The answer is the whooping crane.
Thank you, Dr. Bondar. Judges, could we please have an update on our finalist scores so far? Excellent work, guys. Our final round of the Canadian Geographic Challenge National Final focuses on physical formations. Understanding and exploring physical landscapes gives us a window into the past and helps us better understand how landscapes have influenced the patterns of human settlement, animal behavior, climate, and much more. Physical formations also help us to understand how landscapes might transform and change in the future. The following round focuses on unique physical formations found around the world. There are 8 questions in this round, each worth 1 point. Is everyone ready for our final round? Question 1. Mauritania's Richat structure is a unique circular formation that is 40 kilometers in diameter and can be seen from space. The landscape is made up of eroded sedimentary rocks, some of which are hundreds of millions of years old. Due to its unique shape, the structure is commonly referred to as the Eye of which desert? And the answer is the Sahara Desert. Question number 2. The stone forest in China, which is also known as Xilin, is covered with large limestone rocks that appear as though they were growing from the ground as pillars or towers, even though they're the products of erosion. What is this type of stone formation called? The answer is karst. Next question. Located in the San Juan province of Argentina, Isquigualesto Provincial Park is home to unique geological formations created through erosion as well as large rounded boulders in an area called the Bowling Field. This unique landscape has earned the park a well-known nickname. What is that nickname? And the answer is Valley of the Moon. Question 4. Ireland's Giant's Causeway is famous for its hexagonal pillars formed by volcanic activity from more than 50 million years ago. What specific type of rock are these pillars composed of? The answer is basalt. Moving on. Established in 1906 as the first U.S. national monument, this large igneous rock formation is a sacred site for many Indigenous peoples and is also a popular tourist attraction. What is the name of this natural attraction? And the answer is Devil's Tower. Question number 6. The Darvaza crater, also colloquially referred to as the Gates of Hell, was said to have been formed in the 1970s when Soviet scientists drilled over a natural gas field. Today, this unique feature is a molten gas pit spewing fire. It's located in Turkmenistan's largest desert, which covers 70% of that country. What is the name of this desert? And the answer is Karakum Desert. Next question. Located on the border between Brazil, Guyana, and Venezuela, this tabletop mountain, also referred to as a mesa or tepui, is one of the oldest geological formations on the planet at approximately 2 billion years old. What is its name? And the answer is Mount Roraima. Now, we have the last question of this round before our grand finale. Here's question number 8. The Smoking Hills in the Northwest Territories are a unique phenomenon where rocks laced with sulfur and coal react when they erode and oxidize, producing smoke. This remote location is found in the northernmost point of the territory. What is the name of this cape? And the answer is Cape Bathurst. Before we conclude this competition, I would like to read one final question for our finalists. This will be a Dutch auction question. As a reminder, here is how the point system works. For this question, 4 clues will be read. You have the option of answering after each clue. However, once you have answered, you may not change your response following another clue. If you answer incorrectly, you will not receive any points. If you answer correctly after the first clue, you get 4 points. If you answer correctly after the second clue, you get 3 points. If you answer correctly after the third clue, you get 2 points. If you answer correctly after the fourth clue, you get 1 point. When you know the answer, type it in and hit submit. The judges will keep track of the scores. The answer of the Dutch auction questions will be read after the final clue. Is everyone ready? Okay, here we go. Identify this archipelago. For 4 points, your first clue. These islands have a subtropical climate and fertile soil. They're well known for their vineyards, cattle, and tea plantations. Winemaking on this archipelago dates back to the 15th century. For 3 points now. Mount Pico, a stratovolcano that rises 2,351 meters above sea level, is the highest point in the archipelago and serves as a nature reserve. For 2 points now, there are 3 regional capitals, each located on a different island. The capitals are Ponta Delgada, Horta, and Angra do Heroísmo. And now, your final clue for 1 point. This archipelago is made up of 9 islands located in the North Atlantic Ocean and has a population of about 246,000 people. And the answer is the Azores. And now for the final results. Let's take a look at the scores. Is everyone ready? Well, That was quite a finale. I was told I'd be blown away by these students, but wow, really. Let's give them one more round of applause. Job well done, guys. Really, really amazing job. Our 4th and 5th place runners-up are Julian Ball and Nishan Gill. Join me in congratulating their amazing efforts today. The 3rd place winner is Jude Cordice. Jude will receive $1,000. Great job, Jude. The 2nd place winner is Swapnil Kabir. Swapnil will receive $2,000. Way to go, Swapnil. Now, a quick drum roll, please. Angad Katra, you are the champion of this year's Canadian Geographic Challenge. As our 1st place winner, Angad will receive $3,000. Congratulations, Angad. Job incredibly well done. We've come to the end of the 2022 Canadian Geographic Challenge. I just want to take this time to say thank you to our finalists. The CanGeo Challenge, from the classroom level to the national final, highlights the importance of geography and being a geoliterate citizen. The competition engages students in exploring the versatility of geography and learning about its importance to global issues and our everyday lives. I would like to thank all 20 of our national finalists who did such a wonderful job with their tests this year. You exemplify the values of the Challenge, CanGeo Education, and the Royal Canadian Geographical Society. All of you have really impressed us with your knowledge of Canada, the world, and the issues affecting our communities here at home and around the world. I would also like to thank the families and teachers who have supported and cheered on our national finalists. Congratulations to our winners once again, and enjoy the rest of your day. Now go celebrate. You deserve it.